Hi, welcome to Blockhead U. You are probably watching a replay of this. You should join us sometime. We do this live every Wednesday. We start at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. We're a bunch of New Kids on the Block fans who get together and talk about New Kids on the Block. I see my co-host here. I'm going to grab her. Also rolling in right now are our friends who are watching live. So I'm going to grab my pal Ashley. Hi, my name is Melanie. I am in Toronto. As usual, please in the chat let us know who you are and from where you are joining. I see Pamela has said she's in Kansas. We've got a friend in Scotland who's just joined us. And on screen, here's my friend Ashley from South Dakota. And that's my dog, Happy, in the back. Found one of his squeaky toys.
Love it.
How's it going, Ashley?
Oh, it's going great. It's, spring / almost summer is here and birds are chirping. Dogs are happy. It's amazing. We're a week and a day from BlockCon.
No, I've got my little notepad with all the little things that we have to talk about that have been going on in the New Kids realm.
Yeah.
But yes, and like the most obvious one, I think, is we're like a week away from BlockCon. And if you don't know what BlockCon is, by the way, that's the first ever New Kids on the Block convention that's happening next weekend in Chicago, actually Rosemont, Illinois.
Close.
Yeah, close. And actually, we're going to learn a bit more about the area a little later with two experts. Yes. And I know, Ashley, you were doing kind of like some last minute shopping today, weren't you? Related to...
I was. Yeah. I decided I hated my prom dress.
Right. And I remember a while back, you were like, I got my whole outfit, I got my look and everything. And then, yeah.
Okay. I tried it on the other day and I was like, you know what? I want to feel more confident I just want to have fun and like not worry about it. My dress was beautiful, but I'm just like, maybe for another occasion. So
yeah. So you went out today and I was like, Godspeed, good for you. And sure enough, you found something, right?
I did. I found a dress. It is not on theme.
Well, I mean, like, do we really have a theme?
No.
Like, I mean, I know that Donnie has mentioned in, like, in Meg's and Jenny's live that it's 80s, but, like, I'm not going with that theme. To me, like, the theme is prom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still like a theme. Yeah. So I do have sort of a theme, which I'm not going to go into, but it's more a mental theme than it is, like, an actual theme for the event.
Yeah, okay, like, I kind of have a theme going on with my outfit, but it's not 80s.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, and you know what? Tiffany in the chat just reminded me that, like, the most obvious thing is, probably the most obvious thing today on May 17th is that it's Jordan Knight's birthday. Yay. Happy birthday, Jordan. Not that you're watching this, but actually, if we put this up on YouTube, maybe he will watch it because we know that apparently he watches YouTube. Yeah. And then a few days ago was Danny's birthday, so shout out to you. Happy belated birthday, Danny.
Yes, my favorite New Kid.
Your favorite New Kid. And okay, we got like a whole onslaught of Solo Joe dates. Like a few days ago, we learned that he's going to be in Ireland and in Germany, which is amazing for our pals over there in Europe. And then today he announced 16 more days in North America.
Yes, and a lot in the southeast. So kind of hitting up
and Toronto. Thank God. We're getting a new kid in Toronto. It's been a while.
Now you just got to get in front of him and be like, isn't it great here? Don't you want to come back here?
Right?
Come back
I know. I know. And then I remember like when the tour stop last year got postponed and canceled, like there's some chatter that like Toronto didn't have enough power to power the concert. I was like, okay, like, we do have electricity and we have like civilization up here, so we can handle a concert. Hopefully he disproves, that belief that, we don't have power. Are you able to get to any of the shows, you think?
So I was looking at the calendar and I'm still not outweighing going to the Seattle show if I can get tickets.
Seattle. Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
my husband's always wanted to go, and it's
Yeah.
our 7th wedding anniversary coming up. And so that's kind of been a dream spot for us to go visit. So I was like, well, maybe we could like combine two things.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
he's never
But
been to
like,
any.
is St. Louis like close for you? Because I think he has a stop in St. Louis.
That's maybe 5 hours. Yeah, it's not
Oh,
terrible. So
okay.
in reason to.
Okay.
So I mean, there's plenty of, I think the new shows that are opening up are bringing more possibilities. Plus, my sister lives in Florida, so if it's
Oh,
anything that I could do in Florida,
yeah.
again, double up.
Nice.
Visit my sister, see Joe McIntyre. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I unfortunately, like, as far as Canada, there is no Montreal Day, which it's too bad for the Montreal Joe fans, but I've already like heard from a couple of fans asking for like, to get a sense of where the venue is and like hotels nearby. So I'm excited to have people coming into the city. I'm really excited to like, this is assuming I'm able to get tickets. I don't want to
Yeah.
assume, but if I am able to go, it'll just be exciting to like get ready at home, and to not be in a hotel or not have to get on an airplane or a long car ride. It would be really nice to have the luxury of doing all that crap at home.
I'm in the same boat. If they ever come near us, it's always at least a 4-hour, maybe a 3-hour drive, but never.
Like, do you get any concerts?
Oh, we've had Garth Brooks here he started his tour here in Sioux Falls in 2019 with 8 days of shows sold out.
Wow. Okay.
This year we have we have everyone comes here.
Okay.
But apparently I've talked about this multiple times. It's too cold. And I'm like, Minneapolis is colder.
Yeah.
Canada is colder sometimes.
Yeah.
So I got to get on our venue here to like really incentivize them to come here.
Right. Yeah, I guess what's what's a really good gift? Like maybe you gotta like get a statue or something and name it after them. Declare a day in the state, and that's the incentive that will get them, that will draw them over.
I say we have many minor league sports teams. Maybe they could all like wear a new jersey. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I have a feeling if I connect our brains together, we could come up with some really good ideas.
I trust we can. And then actually, did you see that Joe went live this evening? I was like on my way home from work, so I didn't really get to watch all of it, but I watched the replay. Did you see it?
I did not see the replay. I was in the same boat. I was busy doing something else. I saw it because you always kind of have your Instagram up a little bit, and I was like, I can't listen to this right now, so I will have to go back and watch it.
I'll be honest, when I was listening to the replay, I was kind of, splitting my attention. And was it just like, I could have sworn he was saying that he was filming a game show. It was called 25 Words or Less with Meredith Vieira.
That's a show.
Cool.
On the Game Show Network.
Okay. Sorry?
It's on the Game Show Network.
Oh, okay. And it sounded like he was filming like multiple episodes. So that's something to look forward to.
A random thing that I know because I've been to a taping of oh my God, what is it called?
The Bryce is Right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They always
do the best game show.
They do like 3 episodes in one day. So more than the same with that type of show where it's like they crack so many out in a day. That way they don't have to film every day because like Meredith, Joe, everyone who does those shows have
They're all busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
and is there anything else that we're missing? Like, congrats to the Boston Celtics, I guess, for making it to whatever. The next round is honestly like the Raptors are out and I just stopped paying attention, but congratulations to them. And I think they're playing right now. So shout out to Johnny because I know you're not watching this, you're watching that.
I'm skipping the season finale of Vanderpump Rules right now.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'll be
so you know what? My friend Jaci, who's going to be joining us a little bit later, she's also a Vanderpump Rules fan. I think she's got a little tidbit of information. Unfortunately, like, I love my Housewives, but I could not get into Vanderpump. So you and I can't really have a convo about that.
No, we've talked about that where I've been like, BravoCon, and you're like, I only care about the Housewives. And I'm like,
yeah.
What about, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it, and that's okay. I watch other junk, like random stuff, like Love After Lockup, which is great.
I've never
That's really
seen that.
good.
I
It's
love
really good.
Oh
Okay, should we get started and find our first guest? All right.
excited.
So there's Jackie in the chat already saying like Vanderpump Rules is so good this year. So you guys can gush about that. All right. Entertain the crowd.
Following you, Jackie. We can talk about it later. Okay, so everyone who's joining us tonight, including our first guest, up in the left-hand corner, there's a little arrow down. Click on it. Anyone who's joining us, you'll be able to follow as well, and we encourage you to do so because we're just one big Blockhead family.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you finally.
Yes. Okay, so before we start, please introduce yourself and tell us where you are joining us from.
I live in the Orlando area. My name's Kristen. I've lived here probably about like 15 years now. I originally lived in Pennsylvania, but
Okay. Hi, Kristen. Nice to meet you. I think I've seen you on I think Twitter like a few weeks ago, but like, well, again, we're gonna get to that as to why. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was your first New Kids experience?
Experience or just like my first like memory of
Memory. What was your first memory?
my very first memory was I was in dance in elementary school, and I think I was 9, so it was like maybe towards the end of 1990, and we were doing a dance to The Right Stuff, and I asked my friend, I'm like, oh my God, who is this group? I love this song. And all the girls were like, you've never heard of New Kids on the Block? So I was like, no, I've never heard of them. So it was from that point on, I fell in love with them, and I think I got like the Hangin' Tough tape for Christmas that year. And so that's what started. That was my earliest memory of like hearing New Kids and just immediately liking them.
So when you were in dance class, when you were dancing, it was like, were you doing a choreographed dance too, step by step? Is that?
It was The Right Stuff. Yeah, my teacher did.
Stuff,
we did the legs. We did everything. Yeah, it was
cool.
just like their dance. So it was cute. I have it on video somewhere, but
I was just gonna say, do you have that on video somewhere where you could like?
Oh, my mom does.
I know sometimes
I have to get it.
Those dance outfits can get like pretty interesting. Well, I'm curious to see what that looks like.
I remember it was like little black biker shorts and like hot pink off the shoulder shirts, and I don't remember if we had like headbands or something like that, but it was very 80s, very New Kids.
I feel like that's like that you could wear that as at a concert right now. It's like
totally. I probably already have that outfit. I have black biker shorts. So
yeah. Okay, so I know that you had a meet and greet with New Kids, right? But it like didn't really go as planned.
So the first one I bought tickets for, I think it was in 2009, and my ex never let me do any kind of VIP or anything. Yeah. So I had a friend buy the ticket for me, and I paid him back because I didn't want my husband to know that I had gotten a VIP ticket, which back then it was like maybe $400, but
yeah, it's changed now.
Yeah. So I got a 5-star, and then the show got canceled because it was like the first couple shows they had to cancel them because the tour wasn't ready. I think it was in Tampa. So that was my one and only meet and greet, and it got canceled, and he was like nasty about it. He's like, well, that's what you get for not telling me that you were going or that you bought tickets and didn't ask me. And so my first
ex.
Oh yes, for many other reasons, but that's a very little one. So my first official meet and greet was I won a radio contest in I think 2013, and so it came with like a Q&A with the radio station, and we each got our own meet and greet, and my ex was there. He insisted on coming along, so he's in the picture, but I need to like cut him out. So that was my first official meet and greet, was 2013, and then I had the first that really counted to me was 2018 on the cruise. That was my first cruise.
Oh, cool.
That was my first time with friends and actually.
Well, I'm glad you were able to make up like the first one that didn't happen, and then make up that second one.
I've definitely made up for it over the last 5 years.
Nice.
That was my next question. Is obviously you've met them. Not obviously, people watching don't know that, but you've met them since that opportunity.
My husband now he really encourages it. So like he got me an ultimate for this last tour, he made sure I got a bar stool. So I did my first bar stool. I had my first ultimate, and I've done 5-star since 2019. So, and I've done cruises 18, 22, and this year.
Nice.
So I'm definitely making up for lost time.
Yes. Yeah.
Aren't we all in a certain aspect though, regardless of the situation? I think many of us are in the same booth.
Yes.
Boat. We're all making up for
Yeah.
lost time. Okay, so you were able to go to Joe's St. Patty's Day show.
Yes.
Can you tell us what was that like?
It was amazing. My friend and I, we had gone to his show in LA in December. I think it was the 18th was when we went to, and had a blast. So when he said about his St. Patty's Day show, it was kind of like a last minute decision. We're like, well, let's just do it. So we decided last minute to do that one. And, yeah, it was amazing. And we brought these like green heart-shaped glasses that we were wearing, and my friend had brought a few pairs to hand out. And she had brought a pair of green aviators for Joe. So she managed to get those to one of his people before the show, and those were the glasses he wore to come out then because he loved them so much. So that was really cool because we had on our little green glasses, and he came out in his aviators that we got him. And after the show, we waited at the door and got to talk to him for a little bit. And she went up and said, "Oh, I'm glad you like the glasses." He goes, "You don't want them back, do you?" Like he was like holding on to them, like, "Don't take them." So they might make an appearance another time, but that was really cool. He was nice about it. It was cool to see him what they're wearing.
I mentioned that like last week I saw you like on Twitter, right? And a tweet of yours being like shared and responded to, and that was because you announced and shared that you had debuted like a New Kids inspired creation of yours. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it's about?
Yeah. So I put together this New Kids, I have it here, the activity and coloring book.
Yeah.
This is the copy my husband bought. Mine has proof all over it. So back in like COVID times, there was this PDF that was going around. It was like for kids, like a COVID journal thing.
Okay.
And I saw it, and I'm like, oh, that's really cute. I was like, we need an adult version of this. So like I made an adult version of the COVID journal. It's called like My Effin' COVID Journal. And like it had questions like, would you let your roommate cut your hair? And did Carol Baskin kill her husband?
Right.
And like design your own mask. And so I did that in 2020, and I was going through files on my computer like, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I was like, oh, I loved doing that coloring book. Like it came out so cute. And I was like, I should do one for like New Kids.
Yeah.
So I started it just kind of for fun and just kind of added designs little by little over like the course of months. And I told my husband, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should do anything with it. Really like it. He goes, yeah, you really should. Like I think people would enjoy it. And so I decided all of a sudden, maybe like I think it was last week, I just decided to publish it, and it went really well.
So because I know when I saw it, I was like, damn it, why did I come up with that? It's such a good idea because like
That's usually me with everything.
Sorry?
That's usually me with everything. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I thought of that.
Because Ashley and I were talking, and we were both like, she and I both love coloring books, and we were showing each other the coloring books that we each have on the go. But you have a background in graphic design, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing graphic design. My degree is in website multimedia design, and I kind of like shifted into graphic design. Yeah. So yeah, I've been working for a trade show company for like 16 years doing graphic design.
Okay. Because I said like, again, I was like, damn it, I wish I'd come up with that. And then I was like, I wouldn't know how to do it. I was like, does Canva do it? Does Canva have coloring templates? I don't know, but that's so cool. And like, where can people find it if they want to purchase it?
It's available on Amazon. It's called the Blockhead book with the right stuff, but write like you're writing.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say something else. I can't remember. Go ahead.
I guess, you were really careful as well, too, that you're not using any trademarks. Yeah. You're not using, like, the likeness. Are you able to show us, like, an example of what you're talking about?
So, like, this is one I think I posted online, but here's, like, I like the remix page. And then I tried to put like activities that you could do in between. There's a play on Danny's hot sauce, so like design your own hot sauce and how hot would you like it. And so, I mean, it's a lot of little things like that. And yeah, it was hard to kind of get around anything trademark because you can't use the logo or their full names or anything like that. So I was like, well, I got to use a lot of like fan lingo and kind of inside stuff. So people outside the fandom would probably be like, I have no idea what this means. So yeah, that was tough. Like, it'd be so nice if they'd be like, hey, do an official one for us, and I could actually have access to like real stuff. But
in the chat, people are saying that they've ordered their book or they have theirs or it's in their cart. And somebody's asking again, can I get the book? Can you just tell us again where to find it and its name? What are we searching for?
It's on Amazon and it's called The Blockhead Book with the Right Stuff.
And again, it's WRITE.
Right.
Stuff.
If you search for a New Kids on the Block coloring book, I think it does come up eventually. It's on like one of the first 3 rows or so.
Around how much does it cost?
It's $6.99.
Okay.
That's such a good price. So here's a good idea for people. If you're out there and you're going on the cruise and you aren't really creative with door decor, getting the book, coloring your pages and putting it on your door might be an easy way of supporting another Blockhead business, but also doing your door decor without too much creativity if you're not.
Without too much work. Yeah. And like, I don't know about you, like I find coloring like really therapeutic, like just to focus in and like hone in on something and to, you know, pick colors and try to make it look pretty. And it's nice to have like this little, you know, spend half an hour working on this piece because I'm not like, you know, I don't create in a lot of other ways. Like I'm not super artistic, but this is like a nice, easy way to let a little bit of that out. It's a good idea.
Juliana just shared the link in the chat as well.
Oh, thank you.
So if anyone's interested in purchasing, which you should be, you can get through that link or go to Amazon and search for everything we just said. I'm gonna forget. Blockhead.
The book with the right stuff. Yeah. Or New Kids on the Block coloring book. It should come up at some point.
Perfect.
But yeah, I was terrified putting it out there. I hate putting my work out there for anyone. So it took some coaxing from my husband. I'm like, are you sure people will actually like this? Like, he goes, yeah, it's great. Put it out there. And so I posted it in that Facebook group because I knew there's a lot of people there. And when I posted it, I thought, okay, like maybe a few people might think about it and like might like it. But the response I got was just absolutely insane. Like, I went back maybe 20 minutes later and it had like 50 comments. And I'm like, oh my God, like I had no idea that this was such a want for people, and it was very surprising. I did not expect it.
Well, and it helps that you made it like a really accessible price, like $6.99. That's
yeah. I don't want to
the cost of a Starbucks drink.
The other thing too about it is you ended up trending on Amazon. Is that correct?
Well, we have to pick categories when we put it up for publishing, and so I put it in popular music, and it's still in the top 10 like over a week later. I think it hit number 10 today. So I outsold like Elton John for like 5 days.
Are you a best-selling author now? Are we talking to a best-selling author?
Doesn't matter. My daughter she goes, so you're a best-selling author now? And I'm like, yeah, like, I outsold Elton John. He beat me now. Like he's above me now. But there's different categories. Like it just overall bestsellers. It kind of went up and down the list, and it's still holding pretty strong in wish lists and new releases. So I had no idea it was going to do that well. Did not expect it at all.
And I guess, given like if you work as a graphic designer in your day job for like corporate or whatever, like you do your designs and you put it out there. It doesn't have your name attached to it, right? Like nobody knows who actually designed it. But in this instance, it's got your name, so everybody knows that you're the one behind this, right?
Yeah, that was so scary. Yeah. I don't even at work, like I put together a lot of like keynote decks and RFPs and stuff too. And at work, like I'm working on a slide, we're in collab deck and someone else is in there, I leave it immediately. I'm like, I don't want anyone to see me working. I don't want it seen until it's done.
Yeah.
terrifying to me. So this was a big risk for me to do this.
Yeah.
What led to your like passion to actually want to do this, to really like put your time in, a lot of time and effort into it?
I really don't know. Like, every once in a while I just get this urge. I'm like, I want to do something creative. I just don't know what.
Yeah.
So I would work on it a little bit at a time. I have a 15-year-old and a 2-year-old. So
Okay.
whenever the 2-year-old go to bed, I'm like, all right, I'm going to just maybe work on this until I go to bed. And I might work on a few designs or like 1 page a night or something like that. And then I would go back and change it 50 million times. Like, my proof book has like 2 or 3 pages that are just non-existent in this one.
Okay.
Because I started coloring, I'm like, okay, well, I would prefer to do this, so I'm going to switch out a couple pages for that. So, yeah, it was a lot of back and forth, and by the time I actually published it, I had stared at it for so long. I was like, everyone is going to hate this. Like, I was so sick of it.
And obviously you've been proven wrong.
I mean, I'm so glad. It's been so nice. Like, everyone has been so supportive. I have people that bought like 10. They're like, oh, I'm going to give it to all my friends. And then they're like, I'm going to buy some more of that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm really glad you like it. And so many people are telling me, oh, I bought one for my friend, and they had bought one for me, and I had no idea that we bought it for each other.
Oh.
It's a lot of that. So that's been really cool. So I've cried a few times, like, reading comments, because people are just so amazing and so supportive.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you that you decided to just take the plunge and put your work out there, and it's being so well received. We needed it, clearly.
Thank you. Yeah, I had no idea. Maybe I'll work on a second one.
That's what I was about to say. You have to start thinking about the second, the part 2.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see.
I'm driving 9 hours to Chicago next week for BlockCon. And so I am going to purchase a few of these to have in the car with us, because there's a group of 5 of us driving. So we can all take turns
doing
a little creative outlet while we're on the road all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So, okay. So what's your New Kids on the Block legendary moment?
So when I was 16, well, I was 15, I made my parents, this was like 95 or 96 summer.
Yeah.
And I made my parents drive to Boston because, like, at the time, everybody knew where Joe's house was, so you could go outside and wait, and Joe would, like, take pictures and sign autographs for anyone who was outside his house. Mm-hmm. So I had his address, I knew where he lived, so my parents actually took us on a vacation to Boston specifically so I could meet Joe. Oh. So we get up there, and my mom and I had waited outside to meet him, and the girls there were like, oh, he's gone for the night. He said he'd come back tomorrow, and it was our last day the next day, so we were going to head back to his house, and my dad was like, oh, I know a shortcut. I'm going to go this way. And my mom and I were like, no, just follow the map. Like, we know where we're going. He's like, no, I know a better way. So we got completely lost, and we pull up, and Joe is outside taking pictures of everybody. So, like, I jump out of the car, and I run over, and he'd gotten in his car and left. And I just, like, almost, like, so sad. And my dad felt so bad because we had to leave. My brother had, like, band camp or something like that. But he felt so bad that he wrote Joe a letter and said, look, this is what happened, and Kristen doesn't know this, but I'm willing to drive her back up to meet you for her 16th birthday if you're willing to do that. So it's like maybe 2 weeks from my birthday, and my mom hands me this letter, and I recognize, I read it, and it was to my dad, so I was like, what? And I looked at the bottom, and the signature was Joe, and he handwrote us both letters and wrote one to my dad. He's like, it's parents like you that made NKRTB successful, and I really appreciate that. And I can't give you another date to come up, but inside you'll find a letter to Kristen. So for my 16th birthday, he wrote me a letter and, like, don't be too hard on your dad. He's a good guy, and, like, happy 16th, babe. And oh my God, his birthday into tears. Yeah. So I died, and I mean, he remembered that letter for years. Like, I talked to him on the radio, and he's like, oh yeah, didn't you come up, and, like, I miss seeing you. I said, yeah. He's like, oh, how's your dad? And he did not remember. And I did my ultimate, and I brought a copy of it, and I said, oh, you wrote this to me when I was 16. I just wanted to say thank you and sorry for sitting out on outside your house. And So he had no idea. He didn't remember. He was reading it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this was at the mansion," because he recognized the letterhead. And he ended up keeping the copy of it. Then I was like, "You don't have to keep that. You can throw it away." But that was really cool to be able to like say to him like, "Thank you so much for doing this." And so that's my legendary moment.
People
That's amazing.
don't have a thank you like that often. You know, you have these experiences. You don't have a chance to follow up and say, "Do you know how much that meant to me?" So that is such a cool thing. Yeah,
all my ultimate pictures is him reading it. He looks so confused. I mean, he always has that like confused Joe face. He's always so every picture of him reading it is just I don't remember this. So they came out really cute, and I was really glad that I got to do that.
So are you able to attend any of the upcoming? I mean, obviously there's a lot of upcoming events, Joe and New Kids. Do you have a list for 2023?
So I had a friend that bought the club membership for the winery in Atlanta, so she got me tickets tonight. So I have tickets to the Atlanta show.
Wait,
if you join like their winery club, it's like I don't know, $30 a month, and you have to pay for 6 months.
In Atlanta?
So
like a pre-sale.
Yeah, you get early access. Like their members get early access.
For Joe's show?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were talking about New Kids. Okay, sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Well, it's Joe's in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I have tickets to that one. So my husband and I are going to go up to that one because he's not coming to Florida. So it was me and I guess the entire state of Florida that we're going to try tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm planning on going to that one, and then we're going on the cruise in October. So that my husband's all excited because he got on the stage on the last cruise, so he's like, "That was the most fun I've ever had on vacation." So he's super excited to go this time.
Does your husband have a favorite New Kid?
My husband?
Yeah.
It's Joe. He loves Joe. He thinks he's hysterical. He loves him.
I told a friend whose husband comes with her to a lot of this stuff not to invite my husband because then it's all over. He'll want to come to everything, and I'll be like just me and my friends again. So it's funny that you say that. Like, oh no, he was on stage last cruise. He'll be back. Yeah.
And he's texting me. He's like, "How do I get off stage?" I was like, "You don't leave stage. Like, you need to stay there."
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So I guess he got off when they did the conga line. He got off, and then other people were like, "Oh my God, I know you could leave." And then they all started leaving after him. But I said, "You do not leave that stage. You stay on there until like they kick you off."
That's incredible.
Yeah. So he had a blast. He cannot wait to do it again.
What is something that you guys are excited about? Have you? Well, I should ask first. Did you do the cruise last year for the first time together, or was 19 with him?
Last year for the first time. My friend that went in 2018 couldn't do it last year, so my husband was like, "Oh, I'll just go with you." Which like it's so new to me. Like I actually want him to go because my ex always said, "If you ever go on that, we'll be divorced." Like I can't believe you ever want to do that. So I got divorced. The year I got divorced, I went on the cruise, and but now I actually want my husband to go because I have fun with him, and he loves New Kids, and like he sings along, and he takes all my pictures on our little point and shoot and gets amazing pictures. So he's my personal photographer. I need him there.
I'll be so lucky. That's amazing.
Yeah. And he's like, when we went last year, my friend's like, "Oh, you're just like one of the girls." So they all like him.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, before we let you go, please remind everyone again where they can find your book. Show us a picture of it so they know what they're looking for on Amazon. And everyone who's out here, get a coloring book, give it to your friends. They're so stinking cute.
Thank you.
Is it available outside of the United States? Do you know?
I made it available on every Amazon country that I could.
That's amazing.
Anywhere that I could, I just checked it out. So check also locally if you're in another country.
Okay.
I know you can get it in Canada and Germany, and I don't remember everywhere else, but anywhere I could, I made sure.
Well, thank you for making sure to do that.
Thank you, everybody, for buying it and enjoying it.
Again, congratulations for its success, and thank you for putting yourself out there with not just with the coloring book, but with coming on the live. We appreciate you joining us. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I don't think we're not gonna see you at BlockCon next week.
No, I'm
No.
not doing BlockCon.
But we're gonna see you on the cruise, you and your husband, and
Yep.
maybe you'll sign the coloring books for us
I
since you're a
would
best-selling
gladly
author.
do that. We're talking
by
about
then you will
having
have
like a big coloring page on our door too, just kind of like do that, and maybe like a giveaway or something. So like some way to give back some of what.
you have to. I love that idea, and have like markers on like strings so people don't
Yeah,
walk with them. And
exactly. Yeah, and I can do trademark stuff for that because I'm not selling it, so I can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's so good. I love that idea.
You are so awesome. Thank you for joining us. This has been really fun. We're glad you had time.
Thank you.
You have a
so
good
much.
night. We'll talk to you later, and I'm gonna take you down. You don't have to worry about trying to exit, okay?
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Oh.
Go.
Someone said in the comments earlier, like, how creative blockheads are. And it's like, yeah. I mean, obviously we know that through doing this, but also like all the YouTube channels, a coloring book, all the people doing silly videos on TikTok. Like it's really
and all the
cool.
new kids inspired clothes and designs and accessories. It's really, I'm in awe of everyone's creativity. And, my little bit is, I color my page, I'll color my coloring book, and that's the extent of it.
And I just do silly crap with my new kids dolls.
Oh, perfect.
I'm bored.
That's called like drama. It's acting. It's pantomime. It's all good. Theatrics.
Yes. I did pay for a minor in college for theater. So I'm glad it's fun.
It's big. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so next up, we have two people who are going to be joining us, and they're both like experts in the Chicago area. And just, before we get started on, learning a bit more about Chicago, as a lot of us will descend on the area next week. Just to recap, that BlockCon, which is the Nukes on the Block convention, is happening next weekend, I should say, in Rosemont, Illinois. And if you're looking for information, to help pull your trip together, a really, really good resource to understand how the event is going to work is the BlockCon website. So that's BlockCon2023.com. As of right now, well, at least the last time I checked, it had like a very, very basic skeleton itinerary. So we know that on the Friday is when the check-in for the convention is going to start, and then the Friday evening is going to be the concert, and we know that that's going to be at the Rosemont Theater. And then on Saturday is going to be the panels. There's going to be some in the morning, I think 2 in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. There's going to be a break in between, and that's going to be at the convention center. I can't remember the name, Donald Stevens or something like that. Convention. It's an area. Yeah, and then I think we're going to have another little break. And then in the evening is going to be the prom. The panels are at the theater, but the prom is at the convention center. And then on the Sunday is when they're having this farewell event. It's at some baseball field. I don't remember the name of it, but again, that's detailed on the website.
Yes, that is at the Impact Field, home of the Chicago Dogs baseball team, and that is within walking distance of the theater if you're staying in any of the recommended hotels near the theater.
Yeah, so basically, if you don't know, again, the itinerary, what's happening when, check out BlockCon2023.com. There's information there, I imagine, between now, sometime before the event. They will be adding more information on there so we can better plan our weekend and understand what to expect. So I imagine, again, there's going to be information on the website. Maybe it'll be shared on social media, and maybe we're going to get emails for those of us who are attending. Another really great resource is if you want to know bag policies at the theater, or what sort of amenities are at the theater. You can go onto the theater's official website and you can browse there, and you can again find out what their bag policies are. You can do the same for the convention center. I I really like to, like, before I go someplace, I don't know about you, Ashley, I really like to scope out like Google Maps and like Street View to kind of get a lay of the land, to understand the area, and to like map out distances as well. Like you can put in the address of one location, the address of another, and it'll tell you the distance and give you a sense of how long it might take to walk or like travel between two points.
And the nice thing too is if you have an iPhone and you look up the Rosemont Theater, you can pan out and it'll give you little emblems for where food is. You can click times. So like, I think the moral of the story is go to the official websites. Google is your friend.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information, and there's still a lot of moving parts that aren't known, but there's a lot you can figure out just by kind of figuring out where you're going to be and at what time you want to be places. And we're both organized. Like, you're way more organized than I am. But like, I already have like all my days and times in my written down planner, so I won't be on my phone trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So
and I think actually there's an app that the con has like partnered with as well too. I don't think that this event app has the details again loaded, but I imagine that will be, when it's ready, we'll have a bunch of information, and like including like how to stay in touch with each other and any updates. It'll be super helpful. So like, again, with moral of the story, Google is your friend. You can find a lot of information on official websites, and sit tight, because we Ashley and I only know as much as is on the official site, and so do the other blockheads as well too. So we'll figure this out when the information is available to us.
Missy from Niceville just said it's the WOVA app, WHOVA. So again, we're only a week out. Might as well download the app now and kind of get ready for it, if that's the official event app to use to keep in touch with what's going on.
Yeah.
More, I'm sure, on that. But yeah, we don't know any more than any of you. So we're just here to help facilitate a conversation.
Okay. But having said that, I'm going to go grab our next two guests. All right.
Two things I want to mention this time. Normally I say a little arrow on the top, click on that. Any of our guests you can go follow. We encourage you to do so. They're taking their time to be here for you. We want to be there for them. But also at the bottom right-hand corner is a little arrow. And because we're going to be sharing or have share some really good information about the area and things to do in the area, you can click that and you can share this live on your story so that your people who follow you can see that this is going live and join as well, so people can ask questions as we're going, and we can all continue to interact at a high level, hopefully.
Okay, now Jaci, I've sent the invite. I hope you are okay. I'm gonna send it again.
We have a couple, while we're doing that, we have a couple questions in the, I'm going to address. Carla about town asked if this is the first time we're going to meet. Yes, it is. Melanie and I have never met. Fun. Our friend Chloe Cakes 1414 asked,
AKA Teresa.
Yes, Teresa, who's been with us, is asking if we're going live at BlockCon, and we're working on some stuff, whether it's Instagram, TikToks, whatever. We hope to do something fun because we like to have fun, and we're at BlockCon, so we'll see what happens, but nothing to say yet.
Okay, so Jaci, it's telling me that you're unable to join. Just to double check, you're not on a computer, are you? Hopefully you are on your phone or an iPad. And I'm just checking, we don't have a phantom, other fourth person who's here. Okay.
I'm just checking. I don't see a fourth person, so we're good there.
Okay, that's good.
Oh,
okay. Oh, there she is. There we go.
There we go.
Hi.
Hi. Hold on.
We figured this out. Yay. Okay. Thank you, both of us, for joining us. Can each of you please introduce yourself? Since Nikki was here first, you can go first.
Obviously, I'm Nikki. I was born and raised in Chicago, so I am very familiar with Chicago. Now I live on the outskirts.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then next up?
I'm Jaci. I was born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago, so very close to Rosemont. I now live in New Jersey, though, as of a couple months ago, but lived in Illinois my whole life.
Wow. Big difference.
Chicago girl at heart, I know. And Jaci and I were pals. We knew kids together. She's like my one of my cruise roommates, and we're BlockConning together and everything. So
Blockhead besties.
happy to have you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us and like for sharing your expertise. But before we get into like Chicagoland talk, Nikki, can you let us know your Blockhead origin story?
Well, I'm a 80s baby, 90s raised me. So I always knew who New Kids were, but like when they came back, I was hooked on Single and Summertime.
Mm-hmm.
But then I finally got the opportunity to go to concert with Backstreet Boys.
Yep.
Since then, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked, and I've been to every tour since.
And what's your most legendary Blockhead moment?
Well, in 2019 mixtape, I ended up winning the Remember Betty raffle.
Oh, okay.
So that was my first time meeting any new kid. So that was my first encounter.
So the prize was a meet and greet
with just Danny.
With
so
Danny.
you had to be there early.
Okay.
Just Danny. You got your selfie, got tickets,
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. Amazing. And I still have the voicemail on my other phone because Dan Wood was in charge of it.
Yeah.
So I still have that voicemail from him.
Do you have to go in like every couple of months or weeks to like keep saving it?
And no, because I have an iPhone, so it's saved on that iPhone particularly.
Oh, okay. Got it. And what about you, Jaci? What's your origin story?
Well, can you hear me okay, first of all?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I tried to get on my laptop and it wasn't working. So my first moment or legendary moment?
How you became a fan, like how, when, why?
Yeah.
Where?
Sure how it all happened, but it was back probably in 88, 89, and I just remember listening to their music all the time, and I had a group of friends, and that was just kind of what we did, and it turned into just this love of them for the years and fandom, and I wasn't able to get tickets when they were at their very peak, let's say, but I got a set of tickets right towards the very end.
Yeah.
And behind the stage, and I didn't even care. I just wanted to be there. They were like the worst seats ever. And it was just a fun moment in my childhood. And I just cherished that time.
Oh, and what about your most legendary Blockhead moment? I'm curious to see what you're going to come up with.
So many of them, but I think last year I took my daughter with me, and she was 9, so she's 10 now, and that was really fun. And she did the meet and greet with me too, and she stood by Jordan, who was my favorite. So that was fun. Although when we were in the meet and greet line, she changed her mind, and she was not by Donnie. I said, it's like, you got to do that. So she took one for the team, and she stood by Jordan. Like, that's really a rough thing to do, right. But it was just really cool to grow up listening to them and following them all these years, and then have your own daughter kind of be in that same spot, as the little girl that you once were. So that was probably my best moment overall.
And you know what? I realized that thank you for sharing that. And I realized what I meant to ask you was, knowing that you're a Jordan girl and it's his birthday.
Yeah.
What's your most legendary Jordan moment? Is it also that your daughter had to take one for the team and sandwich her?
Well, for me, my biggest moment was probably one of the first times I met him. It wasn't the very first, but it was the first cruise we went on. Yeah. And night one, just had a moment, and he was right there in front of me. We kind of had front row by accident. We didn't even know what was going on with the cruise that time.
Yeah, I was the last two. I was not in front row with them. I was up in the balcony. Like, I don't know where it was. I was behind a speaker or something.
Right. But it was just a moment, and I just like blurted out, like, I've loved you since I was like 10 years old. And it was just a really nice moment, and he gave me this biggest hug I've ever had, and we took a great picture, and all my dreams came true.
Oh. All of your wildest dreams come true.
Yeah.
So get into BlockCon just a little bit. You're both obviously from the Chicago area, suburbs, including, knowing Rosemont, where BlockCon is happening. So we have a few key questions, which we're hoping you'll be helpful to anyone who's joining us today. But Nikki, we'll start with you. You went to a concert in the Rosemont Theater.
Yes.
They're going to be, correct? Okay. What can you tell us about the theater or its features, kind of the policies that you're aware of? Obviously, we encourage everyone before you guys join us to go to the theater directly,
but yeah, I had a small little purse. They let us in. There's elevators to get up to the balcony. There's concession stands, but it's small and intimate. So it's smaller than the arena concerts and everything. So you can have view of the stage from wherever you're sitting. I was on the floor all the way at the end in the back, and I can still see the stage from where I was. So you will have view, and you'll see everything going on.
Perfect. Because you were just there recently, like you were just there a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Last weekend? 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
2 weekends ago. Yes.
Okay.
So literally the bad seat in the house. They're all great. They're all.
You can see the stage. The only thing, when I looked up, it's kind of steep up there. So if
in the balcony,
in the balcony,
yeah.
So if you have anxiety about that, because I know at Carnegie Hall I had anxiety when I was up there. So just be careful and be mindful of that.
Maybe don't wear your tallest stilettos.
Right.
Yeah. Some nice flats.
So is there anything unexpected about the venue that you weren't thinking you'd have to deal with, or it was pretty
actually the
normal?
parking lot it's kind of big, but it's kind of small as well. So there is a parking garage, like maybe a half block down, but security will definitely direct you to where to go.
Okay. Okay. So we know that they're like the BlockCon events are happening at some key venues like the Rosemont Theater, the Convention Center, and they're, you know, within walking distance. Plus, there's a bunch of hotels and restaurants, and there's like shopping as well too. So, Jaci, how do you given that? How do you plan? How do we plan to get around? Like,
yes, I think most everyone can walk. So I would suggest wear comfortable shoes. You don't want to necessarily wear high heels or bring them along maybe in a separate bag. Although watch your bag size. So you want to bring something too big. But honestly, I would just wear comfortable shoes. I usually just go for gym shoes. I don't even care. Comfort means everything. And everything is right there. So it's a huge block of hotels, restaurants. It's entertainment district. They have a mall there. The baseball field, Impact Field is there where the Sunday event is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is within, let's say, 5 minutes of the hotel. The theater, the convention center, even those staying at the Hyatt, one of the preferred hotels, those are all pretty much within 5 minutes of each other. And even some of the restaurants right across the street there. Impact Field probably is about a 10-minute walk, maybe up to 15 minutes if you're staying at the Hyatt. But some of the venues are connected by an above ground tunnel. What do you call it? Like a walkway.
A walkway. Okay.
Walk over the busy street and not have to walk across it. So it makes it really easy, and it's good for weather too, but everything is right there in walking distance. If you do have a car, there's plenty of parking, but you absolutely will pay for parking. So if you're at the theater, you would have to see or check online maybe, or call them to see if you would need to move the car then to the convention center, if you're going from one event to another, or even to your hotel. So I would just be prepared with parking in advance, because everything out there, you do have to pay for parking.
Right.
Okay, and sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I'm not familiar with the area at all. So, I mean, do they have like the scooter systems like they have in some cities, or the bikes that you can rent? Or a lot of cities are kind of going against those now. So
not up there. The bikes aren't up there. It's more in the city.
Yeah, it's really a commercial district. It's not really a residential area at all. So it's pretty much restaurants, hotels, this entertainment district. I mean, there's Live, which is a bar with live entertainment. So it's really geared towards the people who are visiting the city, maybe the people that are in the airport area. There's the River Casino, which is down the street. You don't want to walk there, but if you have to go there, and you could Uber in like 5 minutes. It's very close. So if anybody wants to gamble, you can go to the casino. So there's so many things to do in that area. You won't have a shortage of things to do.
So actually next Thursday is like not like I guess an official BlockCon event, but the folks at the St. Charles Wahlburgers are hosting like a kind of like a warm-up event. But that's in St. Charles. So like Nikki, how far apart are St. Charles and Rosemont?
It's about a 45-minute drive, depending on traffic. So it's not bad. It's like for me, from work, I get there in 45 minutes. From home, 50 minutes. It just depends on traffic. So it's not that far. 30 miles from me.
Okay. And like if folks want information about BlockCon, that's what they're calling this Thursday event, they can follow along the Wahlberg St. Charles Instagram account. There's a bunch of information. So you can help plan that. But Nikki, you're planning to go, right, to this event?
Yes, I'll be there after I get out of work, though. So I won't be there until later in the evening, unfortunately. But the staff is amazing. They'll be very accommodating to you. So be nice, be very welcoming, be kind, and tip your waiters.
Okay. And is there anything else that we should know about the St. Charles area? Like, what's the Uber situation?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Ubering from St. Charles might be a little bit expensive, but Uber and Lyft is very accessible in the Rosemont area because of the airport.
Right, because Rosemont is close to the airport, so there's going to be a lot of Ubers. But like finding an Uber in St. Charles,
most likely you can, but it's just going to be a little bit pricey.
Yeah, it's going to be pricey, and you might be waiting a long time. It is not an area that has a large amount of Uber. I've been there, done that. In that vicinity, there's a lot of other bars and restaurants we've tried to take transportation from, and it's been, up or down. You never know how it's going to be. So I wouldn't fully bring an Uber back. You should be okay, but you might have to wait for something to become available. Also note too, if no one's been there before, if you haven't been there before, the restaurant is a standalone restaurant, and there's a giant parking lot attached to it with a Meijer's store. It's kind of, think of a Target for the market. And so that parking lot is right there. It's kind of adjacent to Wahlburgers, Starbucks right there, even a Burger King. So it's all in that vicinity.
And there are certain, and this again will be on the WallCon page and everything, but there's certain people who had to pay extra to be inside the restaurant at a certain period of time, where there's other kind of standing or show up room opportunities too. So
so there are VIP tables that went for so much money, and I'm guessing you can be there for the entire time if you paid for that table. But the wristbands that they were selling, that I think 120, is only for the patio area. So you'll be in the patio area out there, and you can order food from the takeout session, but you'll still have access to the bar and the restroom.
But if you want to sit inside the restaurant but not have a VIP table, you'd have to wait in line.
In line, yes, and they will adhere to the 75-minute rule.
Right.
So from the time your order goes in is when your time starts.
Okay. And do we know, is Donnie planning to be there, or do we know what's happening in terms of events?
No clue.
Okay. They're not making any promises. So
no promises, but I know there's going to be karaoke and some other things going on, just like they had for their New Year's celebration.
Okay. So for people who maybe this is their first time to Chicago, they might want to explore downtown Chicago, to visit like some landmarks like the Bean, or like what do you call it, Michigan Avenue, Millennium Park. How far is Rosemont to downtown Chicago?
Probably about a 30-minute drive on the expressway, so it's not far. Again, always depending on traffic.
I-90 is under construction. I was recently, and it's pretty bad. We went from essentially Rosemont area to the Cubs game, which is Wrigley Field, and it took much longer than it typically does. So I would say plan 30 minutes up to an hour to get to downtown Chicago, if that's where you're choosing to go. And the same way going the opposite towards Wahlburgers. So I would say 45 hour, I would plan to get out that directions of Rosemont.
Okay. Yeah. So that could potentially, like, between getting there, doing whatever downtown and coming back, that's a chunk of your day potentially, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so
And
those
definitely, yes, there is a train station not far from the theater and convention center that will take you straight into downtown.
Oh, good.
So that maybe 30 minutes too.
Somebody's asking, oh, Sherry's asking, how safe is the train?
I take it all the time. I used to work downtown, so I took it downtown all the time. I would avoid the red line going south and the green line going south as well.
I would say blue is one of the safer lines, which is they're closest to that area.
Right.
Try not to scare anybody, but I would just try to go PAL or something.
Yes. Never be alone.
Right.
But yeah, and maybe like don't be listening to your to music.
Pay attention to your
pay
surroundings.
attention to your surroundings. Exactly.
I will say overall, I don't want people to be scared. I mean,
yeah, definitely not.
Very safe area overall. Of course, always want to just be on alert, but it's a very different area than some of the news headlines you might see about Chicago. So I just want people to realize that. And St. Charles is, a great area. Yeah, it's a really great area. And there's a lot to do out there too. If you're going to stay out there and do BlockCon, if that's what it's called, BlockCon, things you can do. There's so many great restaurants.
Yeah. The downtown area is amazing. Down by the river, there's parks. You can walk around and do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Are there any exciting areas that you guys would recommend people hit up if they do have a couple hours to burn?
Definitely, if you like museums, you can definitely visit the museums. Navy Pier, you can walk all the way down to the pier and walk back. Done it many times. Just down the Magna Mile, all the shopping and everything as well.
I would add for Chicago, River North is a great restaurant area. There's so many unique and wonderful food out there. If you're downtown, that might be a good one to hit up. And then the Chicago Cubs are in town. I don't know if that fits in anyone's schedule. It's a little wishy-washy with our BlockCon schedule, but if you haven't been to Wrigley Field and you have the time to go, I highly recommend. I'm a diehard Cubs fan, and I've been this year already, and it's just an experience.
Yeah, there's plenty of bars down there. Somebody's always there.
Yeah.
Joanne mentioned the Shed Aquarium as an option too.
Yes. So it's all within the same area. The Field Museum, Soldier Field, the aquarium, and the planetarium.
And is over there too.
Sorry, Jackie, say that again. The what?
An industry, Field Museum, aquarium, and Shed Aquarium. They're the 4 major museums in Chicago, and then the Art Institute is there as well.
Right. You can go see. You can kind of reenact Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
The Bean. Everybody wants to see the Bean in Millennium Park. Yeah. Kind of, I guess.
And then what about if somebody doesn't have enough time to go to downtown Chicago, but maybe wants a little bit of an escape? Like, are there any more local things that they can see and do that you recommend?
Yeah.
So definitely within that entertainment district, there's a lot going on. There's a movie theater. Kings, I think, has a bowling alley. There's always concerts going on there too, because there's a little park area where you just lay on the grass and watch the concerts, whatever's going on.
Cool. Okay.
Niece is there too. The comedy club used to be there in that same area. I mean, it's an entertainment district, so there's probably 6, 7 different places you can go to for entertainment, let alone bars and restaurants, if that's your seat. So,
okay, and actually, Jackie, speaking of some additional entertainment, what's happening? Is it the day before that you're considering?
But I'm taping it. So I am a Vanderpump Rules fan, specifically this year because it's really good. My husband's you just really got into it this year. Not necessarily. I've been watching it on and off, but this year I'm all in.
Yeah.
Those who will be in the area and in St. Charles on Thursday, and I probably really shouldn't promote this because, but at the Arcata Theater in St. Charles, Tom Sandoval, who is part of Vanderpump Rules, he's like the villain. He is playing with his band that night. So the day after their reunion episode #1 is when the band is playing. So they're playing in St. Charles on Thursday night. And then on Friday, they're actually playing in Des Plaines, which is down the street from BlockCon Rosemont. But the time of the Des Plaines one on Friday is probably not good if you want to go to the concert on Friday night for New Kids.
I will go Thursday night with you, Jaci.
Oh my God.
Car. I will drive us there.
I'll have you.
Okay. I want to get the out of him.
I'm going to go and just spy and go on. And Melanie was telling me maybe I'll run into paparazzi or something. Like,
I told her she could take footage and sell it. She could sell it to TMZ or something.
I just want to go in the front and I want to drop my phone like I'm picking up Tom's phone and then I'm seeing Ariana. No one's going to understand this if we don't watch.
Nikki, do you understand any of this?
No.
No.
I know.
No. No.
We'll talk later.
You guys, carry on.
Yeah, so you mentioned food. Or sorry, finish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Restaurants too in I'll go back to St. Charles. There's a lot of great restaurants downtown St. Charles. A lot of them too, you can eat outside if the weather is nice.
Yeah.
There's like Flagship on the Fox, Alter Brewing if you're a brewery person like me. Great food and a lot of like very healthy options, I would say, for me. There's just so many places you can just kind of hang out over there, and there's even like a picture. It says BU. It's this big you can take a picture. I have it with my kids on paper.
Yeah.
So it's like a great photo op. And then right across the street from there is Hotel Baker, which where Donnie and Jenny got married. Cute little downtown if anybody has time to kill and wants to check out St. Charles.
So it sounds like in the chat, Ashley and Jackie, you might have to connect with a few other people because there might be interest in a whole group of you guys going to that concert. I have no idea what it's all about, but I'm happy for you because clearly you're both very enthusiastic.
Excited.
Okay, I want to get back to food though real quick.
Yes.
So Chicago has like a crazy cool food scene, lots of foods that are different than other regional areas, and a lot of people are traveling across the country to come there. What are some of the food selections that you think if someone has an opportunity in the Chicago area to try, they should try?
Nikki?
Well, definitely somebody always wants to try the Chicago deep dish pizza. If you're from Chicago, it's different for us. But I'm a more Illuminati's fan than I am Giordano's fan.
Yeah.
So you have two options for deep dish.
I would agree with the only issue is if you don't have access to a car, Giordano's might be your better option.
Right.
And Rose. So Lou Malnati's is my favorite pizza as well. Giordano's pizza is there too, but Giordano's is in Rosemont. And it's like iconic deep dish, but you could also get thin crust if you don't want to do that.
They have salads as well. Somebody's asking about healthy options.
Oh,
Yes.
Stuff, yeah. And they probably even have pasta dishes too if you just want like, masticholi or something, pasta. And then the other thing I think of when I think of home is just like a good hot dog for those of us that eat them. And
Chicago dog.
Yeah. If you have a car, an Uber, I'm not sure if you could do Uber Eats, but Gene and Jude's is not too far away from there, but it's authentic Chicago hot dog. Just if you go there, please do not ask for ketchup, even though I love ketchup. They won't give it to you, and they will frown you. So they actually put fresh cut fries on top of your hot dog. So kind of sandwich. So it's a hot dog toppings and your fries on top. And it's the best around for sure.
So is Portillo's, because I remember going to Portillo's. Is that okay?
It is. It's different. So Portillo's favorite fast food, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for fast food. So yes, Italian beefs as well.
Yeah. So if you're around Portillo's, I highly recommend that too. If you haven't had it, they have everything from salads to burgers to hot dogs, anything. Like everything is always good there.
Their chocolate cake is really good.
Chocolate cake, they're iconic. Yep.
I should mention too for the vegetarians or vegans in the group listening, maybe I'll pin it, but there's a website I found called Block Club Chicago, which seems very fitting for BlockCon. They have a list of like 22 different options in the Chicago area for vegan or vegetarian Chicago dogs. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is
obviously.
cool.
Oh wait, and it's just hot dogs?
Yeah, it's one a hot dog with 22
I was
veggie
gonna
dogs.
ask, because you know what, you really, you've piqued my interest with that first hot dog place with the French fries. So I was gonna ask, do they have a veggie dog? Because I want to try that.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
That's not very authentic.
No.
On their menu total, like you could get Molly, hot dog, and fries.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just watch you eat
I know,
it. That's it.
there's Chicago people here, they can correct me, but it's not an extensive menu, but it's really good to eat hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh, look, Ashley, you joined the chat. There you are.
For my other account, I just sent that. So if anyone out there is not a meat eater, there's a whole list.
I don't think
to get it
things work in the chat though. Maybe you can like post it like afterwards in your stories.
Okay.
And you know what? Actually, Megs and oh my gosh, Jenny last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago, they spoke to some other Chicago locals as well too, and they had like a whole giant list of recommendations, including a bunch of restaurants. And Meg shared them in her stories yesterday. I don't know if they're still available, but Megs, if you can just make sure that those lists of like all the recommendations are still up in your stories for folks to check out, that would be awesome.
Yeah. They were today, so
it was today? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I saw them today. So, is there anything about the Chicago area or tips or recommendations that you think that people should know that you have not shared yet?
Well, if you like more Mexican food too, the Pilsen area has a lot of murals. If you just go walking around, just painted on the side of their house. If you like some art, you can do that. But again, never stay alone. That's also accessible by the train as well. So if you take the blue line to downtown and transfer to the pink line, that'll take you to Pilsen area.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm seeing the comments. Somebody mentioned downtown Geneva. So if you're in St. Charles area, Geneva is a great place too. It's somewhat similar to St. Charles. They have really cute boutique shop and some great as well. So they're side by side. So I would recommend that area too, if you're in that vicinity. Other than that, like I would say, just be prepared to.
Kristen, Chinatown.
Things aren't far, but you want to make sure you're comfortable walking from venue to venue, because you're going to be walking. They're big buildings, so you're going to be walking quite a distance to get to the convention center and across the street and that sort of thing.
And I'm on Facebook, I noticed people were asking about what type of weather to expect. And I guess, like weather, it's kind of hard to predict. It's changing as well. So I was wondering if like one option is to obviously like look at a weather app, but you could even like look up the local news stations in St. Charles and Rosemont, Chicago, and keep an eye on their forecast, right, to get a sense of what to expect.
Usually it's pretty warm, sunny in the day. Sometimes I wear shorts or just a dress, but cooler nights, definitely.
Yeah, and I would say make sure you check right before your trip, because in Chicago, like I've had Memorial Day weekend be 100, and I've also experienced it being like 50. So
40s,
yeah. You never know how it's going to be. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah,
but we definitely had a mild winter this year, so it may be really warm.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's very windy there too most of the time. So the Lake Michigan has a lot of wind that comes off, so that kind of makes the temperature cooler sometimes. So you just want to be prepared for that.
Got it.
Also, since convention centers tend to be very cold.
Yes.
Even hot outside, be prepared to bring a sweatshirt or sweater to the convention center or to the theater, because we never know the difference. It's always kind of a warning when you go to any sort of business conference or convention that temperatures will fluctuate throughout the day pretty significantly. So
especially with 4,400 people plus within the convention center for prom. So they're going to have that AC blasting.
Yeah, and there could be other people, other events happening in the convention center possibly, right? I'm assuming there's...
I have not seen any other events scheduled.
Got it. Okay.
So I've looked on their website, and there's nothing else scheduled for that day.
Weddings and stuff too. They do those there as well, rooms. So there could be smaller events going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking, Darcy's asking, with it being a holiday weekend, is there anything special going on outside of BlockCon? I don't know. I mean, I like, does Rosemont, like the city of Rosemont they probably have a website, right? Like a city website that you could probably scope out as well too, to learn a bit more about the area and see if there are any planned events for the long weekend. But
also, I was going to say, Navy Pier sometimes has fireworks, but I'm not sure when that's going to start.
It does look like May 19th to the 21st, if people are coming early, there's the Anime Central going on at the Rosemont Convention Center.
Okay.
Yeah, they're early. And then while we're there, there's the Process Heating and Cooling Conference and Expo. So if anyone's
maybe
single,
I can find myself a husband who works in HVAC, an HVAC expert. Okay.
if anyone out there's looking for a gentleman who's good with his hands, maybe there's
someone in the trades. Yes.
There's plenty of Home Depots almost around too.
We're both on TikTok, so we get that, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, I just want to walk around Target. I just want to walk around Target and look at all the food and all the different flavors that you guys have. It's
there's one near. So
yes, I remember it's near the Allstate Arena because we had to.
Or for anybody who wants to know. Also, like in the entertainment district, there's a mall, and it's called an outlet mall, but beware, friends, it's not necessarily what I call outlet price.
Right.
There's some very high-end stores.
Yeah,
there.
I saw Brunello Cucinelli that I only learned from Sex in the City last year, and that's a very high-end.
Yeah, all the stores are high-end. I wouldn't say they're outlet prices.
Okay.
But if anybody also has a car, I would highly recommend, if you want to go to a different mall, Woodfield Mall, which is in Schaumburg. It's probably about 30 minutes at max. It's one of the U.S.'s biggest mall, and I highly recommend going there. There's every store that you would need there.
Awesome.
very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so now to close out the conversation, Nikki, what are you most looking forward to at BlockCon?
Just being with everybody, seeing everybody's outfits, and it's going to be a first experience for all of us, even the new kids themselves.
Yep.
So just
We've never
see
done
how
this.
everything's going to come together. I've even posed the question, is it going to be like every other convention? Are there going to be booths set up for people or anything? But we have no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going in with no expectations because no expectations means everything is going to be great.
Yeah. And what about you, Jaci? What are you most looking forward to?
Seeing my girlfriends. So I'm really excited to see my friends. Melanie's part of that, and fun to have some time to hang out together. But I'm just excited for the overall event. Just like you said, Nikki, no expectations, just kind of see what's going to happen. I know everybody is getting a little bit antsy because they really want defined details on every aspect. But I think
I'm a planner, so I want details too, but no expectations.
To be said about winging it as well and just kind of enjoying the moment, and maybe there's going to be surprises. Maybe we shouldn't know everything. So just like take a moment and, take a deep breath and wait for what's to come.
Well, it sounds like regardless of what's planned or not planned, there's a lot of things to do. So you can kind of pick and choose your, it's your create your own adventure kind of a game that we'll be having next weekend.
Yeah. And I really
love it.
Like hometown food because I'm missing it a little bit in Jersey.
Yeah. And your husband was in Chicago not too long ago, right? So he got a taste for it, and you stayed home. So now
he went
to
last weekend in Chicago, which was a big show. So
he went to what?
Blink 182. too.
Oh yeah, they were just here. They just did 2 shows here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we're kind of like playing tag and switching.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I'm really looking forward to meeting you, Nikki, because wait, we have met. Wait, were you in
No.
Toronto? You weren't there.
No, I
Okay.
wasn't there. No, but we both went. You went to Carnegie, right?
Yeah, but I
And
don't think we met.
we
No.
didn't get to meet.
Yeah, no, I look forward to meeting you, and of course, Jackie, I look forward to seeing you.
I leave a week from so I'm excited.
Sorry.
I leave a week from today.
Right. Oh yeah, you're gonna go. You're putting in some family time, some friends and family time, right before the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And some Vanderpump Rules time.
And
I've got my rose and my Vanderpump cup up in my kitchen ready to go. So I'll post that.
Well, listen, you guys, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us and for sharing, obviously, your time. We will all be together in not that long, and we can pick up this conversation then.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
All right. So I'll take you guys down. You don't have to worry about taking yourself out. Thank you so much. All right. Take care. Bye.
I'm gonna highly encourage anyone watching the reshare of this to go back and listen to this whole conversation, because they shared so much information and specific places that you should check out. If you weren't taking notes, you might want to go back and rewatch this later and jot some notes down, because there were some really good suggestions.
Yeah, it's a lot of information, but like Nikki, I think I'm a planner when it comes to some things. I like to know what to expect. So, they're holding out some information for us, but at least if I can know, the restaurants and where the Target is and where the food aisle is, that helps calm the anxiety for sure. So I appreciate all the information they've shared with us.
I really love your want to go check out Target and look at all the food and everything, because Target is, this is sacrilegious, but it's my church. I'm there every so.
Well, to be fair, again, because it's typically Jackie's the only American in our little posse, and whenever we get to some place, the Canadians are always we're just we just want to go to a store. Honestly, it can be any store. We just like to walk the aisles and look at the food. Because there's so many flavored Oreos and all these flavored pops and crazy yogurts and stuff. And again, we have food. We are well fed here, but it just seems sometimes the States is another planet.
We also don't have ketchup chips, so we're lacking in some ways that Canada is a plethora of different experiences. So,
oh yes, you mentioned Garrett popcorn. Yes, I've had that. That's really nice at Navy Pier. Isn't there a chocolate? Isn't there a quintessential Chicago chocolate? I can't. Oh, it's Ghirardelli. Is Ghirardelli's Chicago?
I don't know if it's out of Chicago. It might be though. My brother-in-law is from the Chicago area, from a suburb, and I know that's a big Easter gift in his family. Is Ghirardelli chocolates is the fancy chocolate. Yeah. So it must. I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Chicago
Someone
area.
in the chat is Ghirardelli's chocolate a Chicago staple? Let us know. But definitely the Garrett's chip, especially I think the Chicago mix, the cheese and the caramel flavor.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Right?
That is a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Oh my God.
Fannie Mae is the Chicago chocolate. Fannie Mae, but then
know what that
Jackie's saying Frangos. I don't know what that is. Okay. We'll figure it out. And we will be well fed there.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot to sort out. It's going to be a busy week, but happy to get some new kidding.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ashley.
Next Wednesday.
Yes. So next Wednesday we have Paris Mazzoni, who's the New Kids photographer on their last tour, and she's going to be at BlockCon as well. We're going to be chatting with her, and she was just on a podcast called "Is Breakfast Included?" I think that's what it's called. I
I'm
think
looking.
it's called Is Breakfast Included? So I had to listen to that, found out a lot about yes, found out a lot about her, which is super helpful. I think we might be asking some of the same questions, but we will try to come up with completely unique questions. So we look forward to chatting with her, and yeah, we've got some other planning as well too that we have to do.
Yeah,
but I trust
we're excited. It's gonna be a fun summer, guys. So
yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah, and for those of you who are purchasing Joe tickets tomorrow, like me, hopefully, best of luck. And we will see you, we will see you next week. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye, Ashley. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.